It is 6 o'clock. It is 6 o'clock. Um, Welcome to yet another episode of Heightened and Enlightened the Live Show. This is a podcast where we get to have real conversations using real life stories over real life issues, and we tell it all in real time. And prayerfully, after each conversation, you guys will leave either heightened, enlightened, or even both. So, welcome in, welcome in. Hey, hey there, Michelle. You in the building? All right. I am your host. I am Shay. I am here tonight. You guys, it's been a trying last couple weeks. So, I just want to say I appreciate you all for remembering, those of you that do remember. And be sure to highlight, at follow so we can get everybody in here because you guys know, like I always say, it takes a village when it comes to promoting healing. And that is what we do. Give me a second to share out. You guys know how I do. There we go. And it takes me a minute. So I fixed some things, Michelle. So prayerfully, I can get everybody's comments tonight because I'm navigating off of 3 screens. So we're trying to get something together. We're trying to get it together. Tonight is going to be something interesting. It's good. Y'all know I try to have every topic good, stimulating. I like to promote healing all across the board. So we always talk about some good stuff. And tonight we are going to be talking about mental maintenance. Mental maintenance and what that is, what it looks like. Come on in, everybody. And how to maintain a healthy mindset, y'all. Because I feel like this world can be so negative. Um, and there's just so much going on. I mean, if y'all are into politics, that's a whole nother conversation that I won't even go into. But there's just so much going on in the world that I feel like we really have to be conscious about maintaining our mental our healthy mind states. You know, that's important. But let me get everybody on in here, y'all. Let me do what I do. Give me a split second. Cause you know, the more the merrier. All right. Mental maintenance. I gotta make sure I say it separately because y'all know how I do. Well, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Thank you. Now I can try to navigate. So these last couple of weeks has been really trying for me. Um, and I've spoke to quite a few people that these last couple of weeks have also been trying for. So I feel like tonight's episode is going to be like really important. Yes. Thank you. Tag everybody. Let's tag. Hey, brother, you're in here. I want to recap because it has been so long since you guys have been back on here. Hey, hey, Amy's, are you in the building? Yes, we're talking about mental maintenance tonight. So yes, I need all y'all in here. But anyways, but these last couple weeks have been crazy. So 2 weeks ago, because I got to recap all the way back because last week I was not in the building, and I'm going to explain why here shortly. But 2 weeks ago, we talked about forgiveness and how important forgiveness was and what that looks like. And that episode got cut short. I feel like I had to exercise that fast of what I was going through and see what happened, you guys. What happened? What happened? Okay, so Ashley is she's my eyes. Like that's my right hand when it comes to a lot of things in life. So let's just say that I think she kept hearing me say I can't see, and she was trying to help me change the format and everything. Hey Teresa, hey cousin, you in the building? But I think her trying to help booted the broadcast, and I was so frustrated to where I was like, I didn't even want to come back on. So when it came to that episode, that's what happened. As we were talking about forgiveness. And I didn't even get to leave you guys with the 5 benefits of forgiveness. So we're going to start off with that tonight. And then we're going to kind of pick back up and go forward. So with forgiveness, you guys know how important that is. Forgiveness is more so for you, not the other person. First benefit of forgiveness, it heals the wound in your heart, which is very important. Second benefit of forgiveness, it brings you peace. Third benefit, it helps your other relationships, which is so true, because when you forgive and you find peace, you tend to move forward freely. Number 4, it stops the victimhood mentality. I love that one because you are not a victim, you are a conqueror. So that's what forgiveness does for you. And number 5, it improves the overall mental health. That is very important. Now, those are 5 benefits when it comes to forgiveness. That's in 2 weeks ago episode. I just wanted to say that because it got cut short, so I didn't get a chance to say it. So last week, I canceled the show, you guys. I canceled. Hey, D, I see you in here. Now, I canceled the show because I really needed some mental maintenance of my own. As I just said, it has been a trying last couple of weeks for not only myself, but quite a few people that I know. So I really had to take care of me. And that's super important. Like, you have to take care of yourself. And so that's kind of why I wanted to come on here tonight to talk about mental maintenance and how to maintain a healthy mind state, because that's important, y'all. It is so important, especially if you are a giver like me, if you're an empath, if you are just someone who just loves with your whole heart. You got to take care of yourself. That's important. You got to take care of yourself, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. It's not possible. And if you're not happy and if you're not okay, you can't make sure no one else is okay. So that is important, y'all. That's important. But mental maintenance. I found an interesting thing when it comes to mental maintenance. You guys know I like to break everything down. I like to define everything so that way we can all be on the same page when it comes to what I'm talking about. So you guys know what maintenance is. Maintenance is basically the process of maintaining or maintaining or preserving something or someone. That's maintenance. You got to keep up maintenance. Your house needs maintenance. Your car needs maintenance. Your relationships needs maintenance. Your parenting needs maintenance. Everything in life needs maintenance. Your health, your physical health needs maintenance, especially your mental. Today we talking more so about mental maintenance, but everything in your life needs maintenance. Yes, self-care is most definitely top priority, Michelle, for real. And I'm big on that. And you guys, the more that you follow me and the more that you watch me, you will see how big I am on that. I set healthy boundaries. I don't play about my mental state because I have to fight so hard. Mental illness runs in my family. So with me being aware of that, I just do what I can to prevent everything, which brings me back to this. I found a good definition because you guys know the definition of maintenance. I just gave it to you. So when it comes to mental maintenance is the proactive ongoing process of self-care and preventative actions to sustain good mental health and overall well-being rather than waiting for chaos or crisis to occur. So with that being said, and with that definition being read, what do you do to prevent a crisis? Like, what do you do? And I'm saying mentally, in your head, because the crisis always starts up here before it starts everywhere else for the most part. How do you protect you? How do you maintain a healthy mind state? Y'all know I like to ask questions, and that's how I kind of get you guys to engage. But how do you maintain a healthy mind state? And I want y'all to keep it real because there's some people out here that I know that You don't do a good job at maintaining healthy mind state. So keep it 100. Like if you don't know where to start, put that like, but let me know, like, what do you do for you? Because we might be doing something different and I might try something that you do and you might try something that I do. So drop it in the comments. Let's see. Okay. Michelle, you love to isolate. Oh, you have to isolate. Okay, so aside from the isolation, what do you do while you're in isolation? Because isolation is important to keeping a healthy, mind state. But what do you do while you're isolated? Because that is also a big thing too. That's also a big thing. Let me give you guys a second to kind of, tap in and answer my question. Those of you that are in here, please do not forget to drop an at follow and an at highlight so that way other people can join the conversation, y'all. It's important. And remember that everyone is human and make mistakes. Okay, I can dig that. That's my phrase. My phrase that pays. I can dig it. Okay. Um, for me personally, like I just explained, I'm like super big on mental health, especially because I struggle with depression. And as I've gotten older, I am finding that I'm having more panic attacks, and it's been crazy. Um, Now, granted, I am also one that is not big on medication. So I find other, natural ways to handle my attacks. But that's what makes me so big on the mental maintenance. And these past 2 weeks, yes, I've really had to like really throw myself into just nothing but positivity when it comes to just life, because life has been hard, y'all. I mean, I know y'all go through it as well. We all go through it. But for me, I really had to focus on just the good parts. Not saying that, I cancel because the podcast is a bad part, because this is a beautiful part of mental health for me too. But last week I really just didn't have anything to give, just to be honest. I didn't. So basically that day what I did, and this is a piece of how I maintain my mental health. That day I woke up and I was feeling kind of just crappy. It is what it is. So I cleaned up all that day, ran my errands, listened to music all that day. I walked and played outside. Like I just did everything that made me feel better. And then to be honest, what made me really cancel, because I was actually kind of prepared to come on last Sunday, but what made me cancel it was just like coming on made me, the thought of appearing, it kind of made me feel overwhelmed. And I'm also I'm one to say, when things make me feel overwhelmed, like, okay, that's just too much, I don't do it. And I encourage everyone to be like that. If things are just too much for you, don't do it. It's okay to say no. It's okay. It's okay. Because as Michelle said earlier, we are all human. With that being said, we need breaks. We need timeouts. We need naps. All of that stuff, because we're human. And everybody decompresses different. So for me, that was how I took care of myself. I listened to my favorite playlist all day, and I was jamming as I was cleaning and clearing out old energy and inviting new energy. And I mean, I did some stretching, some prayer, some meditation. So for me, that's what I did. That is like truly what I did. Hey, Rossi, how you doing? I see you popping in on here. Okay, D, I missed your comment, but you say you listen to music that fits the situation. I hear that. But also on the flip side, I feel like sometimes you got to be careful with the situation, because you don't want to listen to music that add fire to the situation either. Music is a beautiful thing, because I love music. I'm such a music head. I listen to everything except for extreme heavy metal. Any other genre I can get with. But so with that being said, it's like you gotta be careful with the type of music you're listening to. Hey Tasha, hey cousin, I see you in here. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're talking about mental maintenance tonight. And how do you maintain your mental health? Because that is important in today's busy, busy world. Okay, D, you do have mental health issues like depression. It's good we doing this. My mental health was tested. I had a mental breakdown last Monday. I had an MRI done on my toes and I have another amputation. Just can't handle all of this. I understand. I definitely understand. And I can definitely get it. Like I said earlier, it seems like a lot of people were kind of going through it these last couple weeks. It's been a lot energetically, and that's just what I'm just going to say. It's been a lot energetically. But I will definitely put you on my prayer list when it comes to sending well wishes and love and everything with all this stuff that you're going through, because I can only imagine. I don't know firsthand, but I can only imagine. That is a lot. Okay. Second one, let me see. All right, Rossi, you say you can't win them all. I think we get custom with constancy. Not every day should be a win. We don't want to lose, but it's okay to take a L if it means we are helping ourselves. Yes, ma'am. I love that. I love that. That is how I really look at it, because I feel like accepting those L's is really also what keeps you in a healthy mind state too. Because like Rossi just said, we can't always win them all. Like, and seeing, I've never been competitive anyway, period. So for me, I'm not a sore loser, but I feel like that's what's always made me so resilient, is because I can acknowledge when, you know what, you got it. Like, whether it's telling another person you got it, whether it's telling the universe you got it, whatever it is, you got it. You know, I can walk away still with my pride intact. So I feel like for me, that's kind of what keeps my mental healthy and everything when it comes to that. Oh, you were trying to comment, Tasha? I miss you on here. Look, I'm glad you joined us tonight. I'm glad because you finally seeing what I got going on. But okay, so D, you said Thursday you were supposed to know the results of the MRI, but they lost what? They lost the results, so it's a waiting game. Oh no. As a person that's in healthcare, that's not good, but I understand things happen, but I don't like that for you, but it is what it is. I pray that you get everything situated kind of quickly. But with all of this, I put it in God's hands, and yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's what you do. You put it in God's hands. Okay. You guys know, those of you that are always with me, I like to read up stuff, look up stuff, because I like to speak from not only personal experience, but I like to speak from facts. You know, I like to speak factual as well. Because as we know, everybody doesn't see life the same. So when it comes to mental maintenance, I always like to pinpoint down some things that help the situation and that help us in life. And I wrote down six things that help maintain a healthy mindset. And these things are my favorite six. Now, if you Google this stuff, there's like so much more and like in detail, but I picked out my favorite six. Y'all will notice I'm a 369 type girl. That's just my number sequence and how I like to do things. But number one, which is my favorite, physical activity. Physical activity is super important when it comes to keeping a healthy mindset. Because you guys, the sun and the trees and nature, that is like number one medicine right there. I always encourage my kids, like, because you know how teenagers can sit in their room and always just close doors, close windows. No, I feel like those closed dark spaces is kind of what promotes depression. So I'm big on get out in the sun, go walk outside. You know, even if you don't feel comfortable grounding, because everybody doesn't know the importance of taking shoes and socks off and connecting with the earth. But if you don't even feel comfortable doing all that, still go for a walk. Put your socks and tennis shoes on and walk down the street if you can. If you're not able to walk down the street, roll down the street. You know, do whatever you need to do. Go sit in your front yard. Just whatever you got to do. If you can't leave outside your door, open all your windows. Let some sunlight in, because nature and physical activity and all that is important. Um, let me catch up. You guys know I don't want to get too far behind when it comes to comments. Yes, you know, I'm old. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm watching. I see, baby. I love it. Tasha, you're not even that old. I wish you would quit acting like a great grandma. Okay. You're not even that old, but I hear you, cousin. But okay, number 2, when it comes to things that help maintain a healthy mindset. Number 2, a balanced diet. That is also very important because we do not realize how much what we eat contributes to how we feel. And y'all, I stress this to everybody, especially being in healthcare. You know, we're always taught that the brain is important, the central nervous system, the brain is so important, but the gut is more important because depending on what you eat can even send different signals up and create different thoughts. So I always tell people, like, when you're trying to stay healthy, even mentally, physically, being healthy physically, like I said, eating right and physical activity, those are 2 important key factors. And that's also why I talk about the benefits of fasting, because sometimes for mental clarity, you got to get it all about eating. No eating. You got to detox, you know, because this world, there's just so much being put into us that we don't realize that also contributes to why we think the way that we do. All right. So number 3, using mindfulness. Mindfulness helps maintain a healthy mind because mindfulness keeps you accountable. Mindfulness and sitting with yourself and sitting still. I feel like when it comes to mindfulness, you stay accountable. You also can, what word am I looking for, you guys? I'm going to just say you stay accountable and it creates growth because I can't even think of the word right now. I just had a brain fart. But anyways, mindfulness helps keep you accountable. It really does. Like it you sit with yourself, you realize where you need to grow. You can identify your emotions and your feelings. Like, so mindfulness is very important when it comes to consciously keeping a healthy mindset. Food is fuel. Yeah, Rossi, the right food. I know, Tasha, you're a whole grandma, but you act like a great great grandma. Y'all, I'm just now seeing some of these comments. Okay. Yeah, Michelle, you just sit on the back porch and relax. That's me. I sit on the front porch. I'm a patio girl for real. Okay. So number 4, the 4th thing that helps maintain a healthy mindset, staying connected to nothing but positivity. I am big on that. I'm huge on that. Actually, I feel like that is my number 1 because staying connected to positivity for me is very important due to the fact that if you talk to the wrong people, watch the wrong thing, entertain the wrong thought too long, that can like really set you backwards. Like it can take you backwards. It can really trigger you and cause what I call a domino effect because you can have one thought, for instance, and I'm just going to give you an example because this is a piece of what I go through, but we just don't, real conversations, y'all. So for example, you can have one thought that just say, oh, I can't do this. And then out of that one thought where you told yourself you cannot do something comes so much more with that. Like my brain, my thought process, my negative thought process can get really negative. It can get to the point of you can't do this. You're going to go blind. You can't see this. Like I get to beating myself up so bad at times to where I have to literally sometimes verbally stop. So for me, staying connected to positivity is like super important, especially when I'm struggling. When I'm struggling mentally, that's where my isolation comes in. It doesn't come from just pushing people away just because, oh, I don't want nobody, I don't want to deal with anybody. No, it literally comes from a place of protecting myself and protecting the other person. because I don't ever want to be triggered. If I'm already thinking bad about myself and then I'm listening to somebody on the phone complaining about life, it doesn't help me feel any better. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be triggered. And then number two, I don't want to project. Like, I don't want to lash out and project and say the wrong thing at the wrong time because I'm feeling a type of way. So for me, that's isolation mode, when I'm going through that. That's why I make a point to stay connected to positivity. And if I can't find positivity in a human or person, then I find positivity in other things. Like, I'll even go paint if I have to. Painting makes me feel really good. So that's super important, staying connected to positivity, however that looks for you. All right, number 5. This is also very important, and I talk to people a lot about this: avoiding overconsumption. Now, when I looked this one up, it said actually avoid alcohol and drug use, but I'm just going to be a realist when it comes to here. I mean, when it comes to this, I know a lot of people who drink a little bit. I know a whole lot of cannabis users. So with that being said, I feel like the overconsumption part is the part that you really have to pay attention to, because on a smaller level, I know a lot of people, like I said, who socially drink or use cannabis, and then it's like, it is what it is. But when you find yourself drinking every day, or when you find yourself smoking so much that you running out, what I'm saying, in a day, like smoking way more than you should, I feel like that's also when you need to be mindful, and you need to start looking at that, and you need to start identifying what else is wrong. Because we shouldn't be over consuming anything. My problem, I binge eat at times. I get so deep in my feelings to where I can eat. And with that being said, I've struggled with my weight from being like that. I've gotten big. I've lost a lot of weight. Like, hey, there's no telling what size I'm gonna be when you see me next because of that. But it's because of the thought process that I had before. I would get in my feelings and just eat. So, and that's still overconsumption. So I always tell people, you have to be careful with overconsumption when you are going through it, mentally. Um, and then the last thing that will help you maintain a healthy lifestyle, what did I put? Prioritize alone time and sleep. That is important too. And I feel like alone time is different than isolation. Because alone time is, I feel like alone time is it's more temporary. Isolation, you can be isolated, like you can isolate yourself for, anywhere from a day to 2 months. Cause I've done that to where I've not talked to people for months. So I feel like isolation is different, but prioritizing your alone time is basically prioritizing that time, even if it's just 30 minutes a day. Okay, this is my time for me, that I sit with myself and my thoughts and, reflect over my day. That's important. And I tell people that all the time. Y'all know I like to give y'all personal examples. For me, I'm big on this, and my peoples know this about me. They don't necessarily like it, but they know this. My phone goes on do not disturb at 9 p.m. and it does not come off until 6 a.m. For me, those are my alone time moments. I don't care what's happening. I don't care who says what, who's doing what. I don't care who needs to call me to vent. Do not disturb is on, and I get to choose who has access to me. That's my alone time. That is what I do from Monday through Friday. Weekdays, I'm very structured with my time. And I always tell people, you got to be strict about that too, because that is also how you keep a healthy mindset. You have to be strict about what you are willing to tolerate, when you are willing to tolerate it, and how you are willing to tolerate it. When I'm not in the mood and when I don't want to mentally deal with someone else, I don't care. I'm going to take care of me. So that's important. And that's my favorite one, you guys. Okay, going back to some of these comments. Okay. All right, Rossi. Inner monologue is important for being mindful. I like to color or doodle. Yes, ma'am. I'm like that too. Hey, English. I'm glad you made it in, sis. All right. Michelle, even in a group, I'll be quiet and just listen. Okay, I dig that. See, I like to learn, so I'm like that too. All right, Michelle, overconsumption can even be food. Yeah, like I had mentioned earlier. Let me see. I know I can overthink things. I always call my friend no matter what. He's always positive. I was so mad that day he put me on antibiotics. I wasn't going to take it, but he convinced me to take them pills. Well, I'm glad he did, and I'm glad that you actually have someone that's always positive. Um, that's very important. That's very important. Let me see. Michelle, you do the same with your phone? And Tasha, you said you love that so much. Girl, for real, do not disturb. Like, I'm strict about that. Because I don't know if you were on here, but I strongly believe if your cup is overflowing, you can't do anything for anyone else. So for me, that's how I keep my cup halfway full. That way I can take on other projects, because I know that I'm put on this earth to help people. Like, whatever that help looks like, whether it's leading, giving you insight, helping spark that flame within you. I just know that I'm here to do that type of stuff. So with that being said, like, nah, I'm going to take care of me, because I'm not going to let anyone run me into the ground, especially knowing what stress and overstimulation does to the mind, and not only the mind, but the body. So do not disturb, baby. Okay. And then D, let me say, you can't be alone. I have to talk to someone because my mind gets worse while I'm going through it alone. And you know what? I can understand that. I get that. Um, I mean, to each his own. I don't judge anyone for that. Personally, I feel like sooner or later, a person will have to sort out their thoughts on their own. Um, because I feel, and like I said, this is personal, I'm not judging you, anything like that. But I feel like sometimes that's why people go through more confusion than what is necessary, because you look to so many other people to validate your thoughts. Um, and I believe in being more self-sufficient, and less dependent on outside opinions. But like I say, no judgment here at all. Um, if you always need a soundboard, I'm always here. So I will say that. But that's just me. That's just who I am, to my core. So, but I definitely understand. And Michelle, you used to be the same way. I feel like for me though, I used to be that way when I was younger. But for me, it was because I was truly seeking validation from other people. Like, I truly was wanting to be validated. But now, and the crazy part is, I think what got me out of that is I was confiding in the wrong people, and it ended up hurting me. So as I grew and as I got older, like, the thoughts and everything that I started going through, it was like, you know what? I don't need anyone else to talk me off the ledge, or I don't need anyone else to talk me, to talk me down. I got this, because I found that in my situation, people started actually making me feel worse. It was like I would call a person for comfort, and they would ignore me, or they would downplay it, or they would, it was just like I ran into those situations to where I would reach out, and it was like, not saying that people were malicious, but they were just too busy. They were too occupied with their stuff. They couldn't handle my mental issues. So I had to figure out, okay, let me figure out what to do to kind of help my own, mental state. And like I say, that was just what I went through. All right. And Tasha, you felt like okay, Tasha, here goes. I felt like God told me I'm doing too much. And then I went to small group and heard that. And now you talking about it. If my cup is overflowing and I'm doing too much, how can I help somebody else? Yes, ma'am. And they say, hey, God sends you signs and signals in all kind of ways. So please take heed. And Tasha, just the fact that I know you personally, you are definitely a giver, giver to your core. So I mean, it's probably your time to sit down, baby. You are definitely a nurturer. You're a giver. Not only are you a nurturer and a giver in your family because you're the oldest, but you even took that role as your career in healthcare. Like, Miss Ma'am, yes, please take care of you because I don't want to get no phone calls, Miss Ma'am. Okay. Okay. All right. Also, my main people getting the worst of me, like my kids, my siblings, my mom, but they also be the ones taking a lot out of me. And you know what, cousin? I'm glad you said that too. But, and this is me. And like I say, everybody looks at me already like a butthole. So it is what it is. But it be the ones closest to you that drain you the most. So actually, those are the people that I have the most boundaries with. I mean, I love my family to the core. I still do. But with that being said, y'all know that's my phrase that pays. With that being said, I can only do so much. And especially, I'm not the type of person, I can't keep going if I feel unappreciated or, unloved, unwanted. That's the type of thing for me. So I just, yeah, I have the most boundaries with the ones closest to me. They actually get the most notes, and we just gonna be honest. Um, and it is what it is. It is what it is. That's how I keep a healthy mind state, dealing with my family, close ones, and especially my kids, because being a mom, any of you guys that have children out there, your children can be draining. They need this, they need that. And then you're already thinking about everything that they need in life, on your own, because you love them that much and you're raising them. But it's like, then here they come with all these extra needs that you just were not prepared for. And so, yeah, my kids, I definitely have major boundaries with my kids. My kids know when that door is closed, don't bother me. And I don't care how they feel. None of that. I need my time. And I'm strict on that. There are times that I entertain them. There are times that we do things. But when that door is closed and when mama is in her room, she's gonna be in her room and don't bother me. And the older three, they're older now, so they know the deal. They know what's up. I'm still teaching that to Prince because he's only 8. He's the youngest. So we're still teaching him that. And I used to have to tell the kids, like, it's not my job to entertain you. I would give them ideas on how to entertain themselves, but you're not going to be in my face because sometimes I want to be by myself. I have to take care of myself. So that is super important. Michelle, you say if you're not in a good headspace, it's time to self reflect. Yes, ma'am. I am big on that. I am big on that. I want to say when it comes to like being in a headspace, like two thought processes that I totally stay away from. And this is me. Like I said, everybody is different, but I got to tell you guys how I do things. Two thought processes that I stay away from. The first one, I stay away from thoughts that make me the victim because I have noticed when you get to thinking too much about how people wronged you and what they did to you, it's like it really changed the way that it changes the way that you look at a lot of things. Like not only just making you paranoid, but I feel like also that victim mindset keeps you stuck, and I'm big on growth. So it's like I don't want to think a type of way that's going to have me stuck, afraid, paranoid, worried. Like those are all negative vibrations to me. So I don't want to think that. So I stay away from that thought process. Anything that makes me stay the victim, be the victim, I'm the victim. No, we don't entertain those thought processes. The second one that I stay away from thoughts that cause me to always blame someone else. I am huge on accountability when it comes to my actions, my emotions, how I feel. Well, we can't help how we feel, but we can help how we react and what we do when it comes to those feelings. So I'm really accountable when it comes to that. So I stay away from thoughts that cause me to just blame others because for me, if I'm always thinking about, it was their fault, they did this, they said that, they're the reason why I acted this way, they're the reason why I said this, then you lose accountability when you think like that. So For me, like I said, those are my two thought processes that I stay away from. I'm not a victim, and it's no one else's fault. This is me, and it keeps the mirror on me. So that's something I kind of encourage everyone to do. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, why mental maintenance is important. So as I'm talking, you guys hear me say all this stuff, so you guys kind of know why mental maintenance is important. But just to kind of remind you why mental maintenance is important, it's important because it is prevention. Prevention, prevention, prevention. For those of you like myself that struggle with mental illness, maintaining a healthy mindset is like super important, because it kind of, I'm not going to say stops, because like I said earlier, I still have panic attacks, I still get depressed, I still go through things, but it slows it down. I don't get depressed as much. I don't go through as many panic attacks and anxiety attacks as I used to have. So I feel like when you exercise that, you know, it really does help. So it's prevention. Mental maintenance is prevention. That's important. Number two, we got proactive care. Nobody's gonna care for you like you care for yourself. And I'm gonna pause for a second and say that again. No one is going to care for you like you care for yourself. And you have to be proactive about the way that you care about yourself. So that's where that consciousness comes in, of creating healthy boundaries and giving those no's and taking care of what? Self. That's where that comes in. You have to take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of no one else. So proactive care, very important, very important. And our last one, overall well-being. And that is the biggest thing. Like, you have a choice. What do you want for your life? How do you want to see life? Where do you want to go with your life? You know, that's important. Like, just the overall well-being. What do you want for your life overall? Because if you want to be healthy, you're going to do what you got to do to be healthy. Nothing else to be said about that. If you want it, you're going to get it. And if you're not taking care of your mental, and if you're not taking care of yourself, just being honest, that means you don't want it bad enough. So overall well-being, how bad do you want it? It's your life, not mine. Let's see. Okay, to some of these comments. Oh, you guys, hold on, because I gotta catch up. Y'all know how I always go. Okay, English, you said self-love hits different. Oh, that's a good. Oh, wait. Where did I go? Where did I go? Oh, okay. So, Michelle, I'm at your comment now. You said it's hard to turn off mom mode when things are going on with your kids. Yes, it's hard to turn mom mode off, but that's also something that needs to be exercised. Because if you are not good with yourself, I will say this again and I will keep saying this, you will not be good for your children. You still have to take care of you, period. And I have 4 kids, y'all. So I'm not saying this, I'm not a woman with no children trying to tell y'all, hey, go be selfish, F them kids. No, I love the babies. I love my kids. But in the same token, I am the leader of this tribe. I have to do everything. And if I can't do anything, then that means everything else falls. The tribe falls apart. So with that being said, the phrase that pays. With that being said, it's like I gotta take care of me. So that's why I say sometimes, yeah, mom mode has to come off. Mom mode, you gotta learn how to turn it off sometimes. If you can handle everything going on, kudos to you. That's what's up. But if you cannot, you gotta find a way to turn mom mode off sometimes. Okay. Let me say, Michelle, past is past. I wish people would let go of. I get that. Tasha, that's a good thought process because we can only manage ourselves. Yes, ma'am. English, that self-love hits different. Yes, it does. It looks like D, you commented to something. I still need help with that of letting go of the past. Yeah, that is also something that takes exercise and it takes repetition, letting go of the past. Because I'm guilty of even holding on to some of the past myself. I'm guilty of it. I mean, I'm human. But like I say, that's something that I'm conscious about as well. So even when it comes to those past hurtful thoughts that enter my brain for me, sometimes I literally have to stop and be like, no, Shalonda, we're going to redirect. You have to talk to self. You have to advocate for self with self to self sometimes. And I've been there before to where I've looked myself in the mirror and was like, girl, you're not going to think like that. Let go. It's okay. I've had to tell myself that it's okay. I've had to tell myself that I love myself because sometimes we get stuck in the past because of how hurt we were. We were. So with that being said, like, it's always good to remind yourself you're safe now. It's okay. You forgive yourself because whatever it is, you can let go of it. It just takes exercise and repetition, like I said. So, that's just what I do. I like to give out little pointers. Amen on taking care of yourself. Tasha says, say that, cousin. You have a choice. Love it. Yes, you do. You always have a choice. Michelle, when you are ready to let it go, you will feel so free. And yes, like you will, like whenever you are able to let go, like you will feel so free from whatever it is holding you back. And that's important. Like letting go, that was a part of forgiveness that we talked about a couple weeks ago. Oops. And like I said in that episode, forgiveness is not necessarily for the next person. Forgiveness is for you because forgiveness helps you move on and it helps you let go. Whatever the situation is, whether you have to forgive yourself, whether you have to forgive someone else, you know what I'm saying? Or whether you have to just forgive the situation. Because sometimes we put ourselves in situations because we're not healed and we didn't know better. You can even forgive yourself even for that. So it's like at the end of the day, it just takes something. It just takes practice. It just takes practice and it takes time. So be gentle with yourself as you are trying to let go of something. Be gentle with yourself because it's not just overnight. You can't just wake up and just be like, okay, I'm going to let that go and it's not going to come up again because that's why triggers exist. Things trigger us and that we don't expect. So it takes constant repetition of, what, I'm not going to let this define me. What, I'm not going to let this, grow from me. Like I'm going to grow from this. Like there's just so many things that you can do with that. Let's see. I'm more like angry about it. Wish it didn't happen. More my drug days. And I understand that, but I'm going to say this, and this is what I tell everyone. If you cannot change it, why let it stress you? And that's being real. It is what it is. That is another phrase of mine that pays. That's another phrase that pays. I love to say that it is what it is. I say that a lot for the simple fact that it is what it is. It speaks for itself. It happened. It was there. There's nothing you can do about it. So it's like, that's where you just accept it for what it is and try to move on from it. It happened. You went there. You learned from it. You've grown from it. So what? That's a part of what made you stronger. That's a part of what made you who you are. Take that with you into the next phase of life, just in a different facet. You know what I'm saying? Like take that same lesson with you and just know that is who you were or what you went through or what you tolerated, but that's not who you are. That's important. That's a part that also will help you keep a healthy mind state. Just knowing that that is something that you did. That is not who you are. And I hope that helps right there. Michelle, triggers happen when you don't expect it to happen. Yes, they do. And that's why the mindfulness and the maintenance is important, because the more mindful you are about certain situations, the better you can maintain it, and you guys hear me say the word conscious a lot because I make a point to be conscious. I make a point to pay attention and to know what is going on with me. Like I can break all of my feelings and emotions down. I can tell you why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. So I always say I make a point to stay conscious about feelings and emotions and mindfulness and how to stay healthy when it comes to mentally. Let's see. Okay. So encouragement, you guys. We're going to be wrapping this up because you guys know how I do. It's always beautiful. Encouragement, encouragement, encouragement. I encourage all of you to start taking better care of yourselves. I know so many people that hold on to so many bags that are not theirs to hold on to. It's crazy. Let it go. Whatever it was, leave it where it was. What will be, let it be. And what's going to happen is going to happen. Either way, take care of you. Take care of your mind. Take care of your body. Take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of you, who else will? I want to leave you guys with that tonight. I appreciate everything about tonight, and I appreciate you guys for being in the building with me. Let's see. Tasha, before we get out of here, I'm going to read these 2 comments. But Tasha, you say, I think we need face triggers. I feel that's a part of healing. Otherwise, I feel like we are burying it. For me, I think like Mr. Rogers, if it's mentionable, it is manageable. Yes, I believe that too. All right, Michelle well said. I definitely believe that, Tasha. Cousin, you got to call me sometime. You definitely got to call me. I'm going to message you after I get off of here. But anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with that encouragement. I encourage you to take better care of yourselves. I encourage you to say more no's. And I want to let you know and remind you that it's okay to say no. You matter. You are important. You are special. And most of all, you are loved. I love all of y'all. And I thank you guys for being a part of tonight. Next week, we're going to talk about something a little different. We're going to talk about fear. And I'm not talking about the fear that can unalive you because that's justified fear. I'm talking about the other type of fear that a lot of people experience that stops them from being great. I want to talk to y'all about that. So make sure you are in the building next Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be here because y'all been taking care of that mental now. So I'm back. I feel a lot better. I appreciate y'all for bearing with me. And like I always say, I love you guys. I hope tonight you are leaving this podcast feeling heightened or enlightened or even both. Like I always say, much love, much light, much peace, and happy healing, you guys. Happy healing. See you next week.